The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn over my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. I hope you all understand. We've got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What is up, all you sexy beasts? Gerald B is in the house. What's up, Gerald B? How are you doing? Riddle Girl's here. 5 other people, well, 5 people in total. That's not bad. We are back on the original channel, the main channel. I don't know. I am thinking about switching things up about which channels are doing what. Restream does make it kind of easy to do that. And I've been tempted. I have been tempted because I think this channel's been a lot of things. But the last thing this channel was before it was the evening catch up was gear review stuff. And I would buy stuff and I would review it and I would put it out there. I didn't make any money off of those. Those were pure and honest 100% reviews. However, what's up, Prepper Jesus? How you doing? Seen a couple short videos from you recently. That's cool. Well, I guess not Prepper Jesus, but maybe an alter ego or something. But It wasn't not originally, but the last thing I did was gear reviews. I've been thinking about doing that too because there's a few reasons, and one main reason is I do like this channel. It holds some sentimental for me, I guess, but at the same time, I'm not scared to burn it to the ground. But I do have Poison Stinger too, where most of you are subscribed, like most of you, which is nice. What's up, Daniel Oldfield? By the way, I still owe you dinner. I'm gonna wait until the weekend. Actually, I'll probably contact you. I don't know when you got free, but I'll text you, see when you got free. We'll have to go out somewhere nice. I hope you're picking out a good place. All right, because Daniel Oldfield helped me out while I was on vacation. We had a little bit of a scare. I think Daniel was more scared than anybody, but because Roxy can be intimidating when you knock at my door, and I would imagine she was looking like she was going to come through the windows. I just imagine that because I've seen her do it before, so that's a thing. So I was in Wisconsin visiting my daughter, and I was on the phone with my wife, Riddle, and I was like, "I can't talk right now. Let me call you back in 5 minutes." Well, 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes, but it wasn't horribly over, 15 minutes. So I give a call, can't get a hold of Riddle. Can't get a hold of it all. I'm calling, I'm calling, I'm calling. I'm texting, I'm going on Discord. I'm doing all sorts of things. Even went on to a video game on the phone that she likes to play to see if she was online there. And I'm getting super, super worried. All right. And there's nothing I can do. I'm in Wisconsin. I drove there. It's a 3-day trip. Well, 26 hours of straight driving. I could have probably done it in a full, 24 hours. But I was a little bit away and didn't know what to do. Didn't have most of my neighbor's phone number. There's one neighbor that I could trust to come over here that actually can handle the dog. By the way, Daniel, she's 82 years old and a little old lady. And she's not scared of Roxy. Roxy just a sweetheart. She just being protective. But I get it. I do get it because if I didn't know Roxy like I do, I'd also be probably peeing my pants. Anyway, couldn't get a hold of Riddle. Had to call Daniel. Daniel was kind enough. I don't even know where you live, dude, but was kind enough to drive over to my house while I was in Wisconsin to knock on the door. Absolutely no answer. Roxy's going crazy. I'm starting to worry even more because I have called Riddle, I don't know, over 100 times probably trying to get her to to answer the phone. I didn't know what happened. And I have no way to check on her other than the one friend that I still had his phone number in my phone. I was like, Daniel, help. So he was kind enough to come over and knock on the door. No answer. Dog's going crazy. He's peeking in the window. He's worried about, people thinking that he's trying to break into the place. He's probably worried about, Riddle coming out with, some sort of like defense thing. I get it. Anyway, he wasn't able to get an answer at the door, so I had him go talk to my next door neighbor who I really don't want to deal with. And sure enough, as soon as I'm on the phone with him, my neighbor, he's grilling me on why I'm in Wisconsin. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is, I need to have somebody get into that house and check up on Riddle. Well, luckily, Riddle was just asleep and finally woke up, which is good. But everybody was like, they didn't know what they were walking in on. Was it a home invasion? Did Riddle decide that she was just going to end it all? Everybody's like worried about that and what's going to happen when you get in the house with the dog, right? So everybody was worried about that. Luckily, everything was fine, but it was a big deal in my house to me because I was, in Wisconsin. Anyway, we're making changes in our situation, so that will never be a problem again. And I owe Daniel a great debt of gratitude for that. She is a beautiful dog when she's not. It was, well, Salt and Prepper. Love that name. It might subscribe to you. Do you make videos? Let me check. I'm going to check right now. So the trip was eventful. Let's talk about the trip a little bit. So it took me 3 days because I was going slow. I was going slow to Wisconsin. I was by myself. I haven't driven by myself in a long time. Usually there's somebody with me. Even before Riddle, as I was thinking back, like when I originally went to Wisconsin, I had a friend that went with me up to Idaho, and then I took a Greyhound bus to Wisconsin. So I don't even remember the last time I drove that kind of distance by myself. When I drove for Schneider, we drove as a team. Okay, Salt and is that the same one? Let me just look. No, that's not the same one. Let me see channels. Well, I'll have to check that out. Salt and Prepper. I guess you don't do videos. If you do, send me your channel link. I was having a hard time sleeping for several days and passed out from exhaustion. Yeah. I drive slow. It would have taken me 5 days. You drive slow? You drive slow in your rig? Oh man. Well, I suppose I have never driven that kind of Jeep before. I would imagine that some of those are more off-road orientated than street. 8 hours and I'm done. Yeah, that's what I did. I did 3 days of 8 hour driving on the way there. And I met up with my daughter. We had a great time. Bonded. I delivered her a Rudy Tooty. One that she's legally able to. I can actually say I gave her the original AR-15 that I put together. So if you go to my channel and you look at playlist, I believe it's under the playlist of the zombie rifle or zombie stopper rifle. I forget what it is. It's the first AR I ever put together, and I wanted it Spikes Tactical, and I wanted to build it myself because I wanted to learn how they work. And so I went to the store wanting the Spider. I didn't want any of these other things, right? They had a pirate one, they had the spider one, and they had the zombie one. Well, the guy that I went to go see, he only had the pirate one and the zombie one. I was like, I really want a Spikes Tackle, but I don't want either one of those. And I was like, you know what? I'm here. I got the money in hand. I'm buying it. And so I bought the zombie one. I kidded that. Excuse me. I breathed in my saliva. I kitted that out. So that was a piston system driven AR. It was an Osprey piston system. They had told me all the rails that work with their piston system because you need a bigger opening for the rail so the piston can work. And one of them was the Spikes Tactical, which works because it was Spikes Tactical lower, the bar rail. And it has an aluminum barrel nut. Well, that piston system pounded that barrel nut so darn hard that it made the hole that normally a gas tube would go through, it made that into an oval and seized up the operating rod. And so I had to take that off, and I was done with it for a while because I'd already had issues with the piston system. It walked forward because the gas block walked forward, so it wouldn't cycle anymore. So I sent that over to Irish actually via mail, and he had pinned it for me so it wouldn't move anymore. And that's when it pounded the hell out of the barrel nut. So it seized up, and I at that point I was done because I had to replace the upper as well because it tore up the upper because I didn't have the rolling cam pin. I just had a normal cam pin, and I had a bump stock on this thing with a 150 round drum mag, and yeah, it ate the upper up. So I had to replace pretty much the entire upper, and I finally got. Before we went to Texas, I was like, you know what? Let's rebuild it. Let's rebuild it one more time. So I got a new rail that was a steel barrel nut, and I rebuilt it again. Well, I put it together, and it has bent the operating rod to the point where it won't operate because that force has to go somewhere, and it's going straight into that operating rod. And at that point, I was done. Absolutely done with it. I put it on the shelf, said I'm never going to do another gas piston system ever again for an AR or a piston system on a gas gun. And so I decided to tear it all apart and build it again one last time. And I'm happy to say it works fine. I also kitted it out with sights, a hollow sun green dot, and all the bells and whistles, a new bag, new cleaning kit, all that, right? She's got everything she needs to maintain this rifle and have it work for her. The only thing I kind of wish I had done was change out the brake because it has a brake on it because I had I had the bump stock on it for a long time, no longer. But the brake kept that muzzle down while I was doing the bump stock, but it's super loud. And I probably should have changed it over to to a flash hider, but I did not. I did get her hearing in the chat. What's up, Broken Patriot? How you doing? Okay. Zombie lower is the best for noggin double taps anyway, pretty much. What's up, Liberty Not Licensed? How you doing? She liked it. She was nervous of it though. So my daughter is not a fan of recoil. When I used to take her to the range, she did not like shooting the AK. She did not like shooting my Glock 30, which is a 45 caliber. I don't even think she liked the 9 millimeters, right? So when I brought that to her, I also brought an old 22. Right. Should be streaming again, but I lost all those comments. Although I can find them. I can find them. Am I on the same one or am I a different one? Looks like I'm offline over here. Let me do this, edit settings. Well, I should be streaming right now. Yeah, I'm streaming right now, even though it says it's offline. Which I'm not exactly sure why. Okay. Just watch two. Oh, yeah, I see that. All right, let me go. Is it on, well, on YouTube, is it the same one? Or is it a different one? Yeah. Oh, cool. It's on the same one. Sweet. All right, I have to do this a little bit different. So I was saying my daughter's not a fan of recoil. And so she was really scared of it because she didn't like the AK. She didn't like my pistols. She thought for some reason she didn't remember, I guess, if the AR-15 had recoil. I tried to assure her she didn't, or that it didn't, but she was still nervous about it. However, another firearm that I took to her was a 22 Heritage 22 revolver, and that was her gun, and she really enjoyed it because it was a 22, hardly any recoil. So that's the one that she was shooting the most until I told her, give it a try. It has absolutely no recoil, and she did, and it took her a little bit before she really realized how little recoil it does have, but eventually she did, so that was good. Okay, that was the story. Now, sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. Okay, should have not used aluminum, I'm guessing. Well, steel didn't work either, guns. As soon as I put that steel barrel nut on it, it did not take very long at all. It was maybe a couple magazines and that thing would not work. Also, I can't talk about that. Never mind. I forget what things are available to talk about and what aren't. Okay. Spikes makes great stuff. They do. I really enjoyed it at the time, but you try to put a piston system in a gas AR, things go wrong. That was I probably have put that rifle is probably worth I'm gonna say 12 to 13. Let's say $1,500. Right? It's got a Spikes Tactical Lower Zombie, which is not a billet. It's just a regular lower, but it does have a billet upper. It's the Spikes Tactical Billet Upper 2. I don't know how many they've come out with yet because I haven't been paying attention to Spikes Tactical recently. And then it's got the I forget the name of the charging handle, but it's a good one. But then I have the Hollow Sun on it, whole bells and whistles. So let's say $1,500. I've got probably at least $6,000 into that rifle. At least $6,000 into that rifle over the years. That is an expensive lesson that I have learned. You can't read it, but there is a new sign in the background that says no trespassing. Are you going to listen to me in English? Or do I have to speak to you in 12 gauge? I saw that and I posted it on my Discord. I said, you know what? That reminds me of Gerald. And if you watch this channel long enough, you probably know what I'm referring to, or if you're part of the Discord. Okay. Brenda told you to say hi. Awesome. All right. Yeah, thank you very much for sticking around. I do appreciate that. Let me bring up my other chat thing. We've got a lot of work to do when it comes to these streams. All right, so that was my story about my daughter and my wife. After that visit was over, which when it was over, bless her heart, my daughter was sad to see me go. Oh my goodness, I couldn't ask for much better than that. I was sad to go too, but that means we had a good visit. Hopefully, we'll see her again soon. Then I made my way down to the Chicago area. I will just say area, because I wanted to meet up with a good friend, Mule Team 66, which I was only able to spend a few hours with him, but we had great conversations. It was a lot of fun, and I would definitely like to spend more time with him as well. After that, I made a quick gangster boogie all the way down to southern Indiana and spent a week with my good friend, Irish USMC vet. I tell you what, I did learn a lot. I can't really talk about a lot of it, but the main takeaway from that is home security. I've come up with some interesting ways of securing my area. So I'm happy about that. Okay. You still around? Liberty not licensed. Okay. So that's my stories. We did pick up a lot of cool stuff. Also, there in the links down below, there is a new Amazon link for a doormat that I just bought. So I haven't had it for very long. It just arrived today, but I love it and I hope it holds out. But the welcome mat or the doormat in front of my door, that door right there, says come back with a warrant. Fucking love it. So if you want to come back with a warrant doormat, there is a link down below, and it's the link to the one that I bought. Hopefully, if Riddle did that correctly, I haven't checked on it yet. That's just new today. So if you're interested in that, I think it helps out the channel. I don't know exactly how much or whatever, but I only put things down in the affiliate links of things that I personally bought and like, or something that somebody I know on Discord knows and likes. All right. Let's do this. This has been a minute. Oh wow, did it keep that setting even though I closed it out? That's cool. Yes, it's the one I bought. Thank you, Riddle. Pelosi is there's a lot of news that went on while I was away too. The whole Let's Go Brandon thing. That's hilarious. Anyway, I think a lot about what I would do if I ruled the world. House Speaker Pelosi quipped this week that she thinks a lot about what she might do if she ruled the world. Speaking at the 67th annual session of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, where she accepted the Woman for Peace and Security Award on Monday, Pelosi said she often thinks about what policy issue she would prioritize if she was in charge of everything. You gotta love how everybody, or all the presidents, even Trump did this quite a bit, are ruling by executive order. We don't live in a republic, or what a lot of people like to call a democracy, if you only have the leader doing all the ordering by fiat or by executive order. And it just seems like that, Congress, the House, Senate, we don't even worry about that. You don't want her in charge of anything? Yeah, me neither. Let's see. When people ask me if I ruled the world, what's one thing I would do? I think a lot about that, Pelosi told the crowd. It would be to prioritize the education of women and girls. It would make the biggest difference, not only in their lives, their families, their communities, but to the world. Yeah, if you were able to do, I agree with that. If you do that in all countries, not just America, because here in America, women get educated quite a bit. How about like in Afghanistan? Would you do that in Afghanistan? At home, however, Pelosi has found herself powerless to pass Democratic massive agenda. At least 2 Democratic senators opposed their party's $3.5 trillion spending bill. They must be up for election, vowing publicly not to support it until the price tag is reduced. And in the House, progressives have said they will vote against President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure bill if the Senate does not pass the $3.5 trillion bill as well. Ooh, that's a conundrum. In response to the progressives' demands, Pelosi delayed a vote in the bipartisan infrastructure bill, leading to a backlash from more moderate Democrats. While I have great respect for the Speaker, I believe her decision to again delay a vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill is wrong, said Representative Stephanie Murphy from Florida. This promise was enshrined in a House resolution that every Democrat supported, she said. This written comment was the only reason there was enough votes in the House to even start the reconciliation process. That is, to begin the process of writing the Build Back Better Act. Another moderate representative, Josh Gottheimer, accused Pelosi of breaching her firm public comment to members of Congress and to the American people to hold a vote and to pass the once-in-a-century bipartisan infrastructure bill. Once in a century. $3.5 trillion. Who cares? It's only $3.5 trillion. Riddle, same here. I'm the worst at leading. I would love... I don't know if I'd want to lead, but my whole campaign, I've already figured it out. If I ever run for anything, and I have thought about running for stuff before, probably never will, but if I ever ran for anything, it's like I'm not going to do a damn thing in office. That's my tagline. Vote Stinger. He won't do a damn thing while he's in office. Nope. I won't violate any of your rights. Well, if I do anything, it'll be giving you more rights back. But new laws? We don't need new laws. In my honest opinion, the only law America needs is don't mess with anybody else's happiness or rights. It's the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you don't want, if you don't want people to steal from you, don't steal from other people. It's easy. You don't need a whole bunch of shit. If you don't want other people to evade their taxes, then don't evade yours. Riddle's typing. All right, we'll get to that one in a minute. This is comes from Discord. If you're not part of our Discord group, the link is down below. I do have a room there where we have story suggestions, and I think Riddle gave me this story suggestion. Lauren Boebert uses the mass killing in Norway to argue against gun restrictions in the U.S. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert used a mass killing by a bow and arrow in Norway to argue against gun control in the United States. Hours after at least 5 people were killed, can never let a good tragedy go to waste. 5 people were killed and 2 were injured in the attack. The Second Amendment advocate said it showed that gun control laws would not prevent mass killings. A man in Norway just killed a bunch of people with a bow and arrow. Norway has some of the strictest gun laws around, yet mass killings still occur, she said in a tweet. Liberals need to understand it's not the gun, it's the criminal who commits the act. Outgoing Prime Minister Erna Solberg noted in a press conference that mass killings in Norway were rare. It has been more than a decade since extremist Anders Breivik set off a bomb in Oslo's government district before going on a shooting massacre at a summer camp of the country's Labour Party youth organization on Utoya's Island? He killed 77 people and shocked the country. Miss Solberg said the bow and arrow killing shortly after 6 p.m. local time also shocked the country. She said it was too early to identify a clear motive for the gruesome attack and that police were working to determine if it was an act of terrorism. Isn't that everything? If you're killing people, the natural response to people dying is fear. If fear is terrorism, then obviously everything is terrorism. I would be in charge of libraries. Get your rights back. Get your life back. Poison Stinger 24. Maybe. I need to turn that one off. Which one? Oh yeah, you do. You need to turn that one off. We're not doing the Patriot Bible chat after this. After this, I don't know exactly what we're doing, but I need to work on the streams and get them running better, which means I need to get my computer running better because that's probably part of it. The killing happened in Kongsberg, about 50 miles southwest of the country's capital, Oslo. The suspect has been transported to police station in Durham, about 40 miles to the east of the attack, but had not yet been questioned. His arrest was after confrontation with police about 30 minutes after the attack began. He is believed to act alone. You know, one story that popped up while I was on vacation, was a school shooting. Apparently happened. Nobody died, as far as I'm aware, unless that news has changed. But he went in and shot a student, and a teacher and a few other people got arrested. They found out that, he was of African descent, and gave him bond. And somehow the family was able to come up with the bond, and he went free. Now, I'm sure he's going to have a trial, hopefully. But can you believe that? And it was all over the news until it wasn't. And as soon as they learned more about the suspect, you don't hear anything more about it. It wasn't a rifle. It was a pistol. And the colors didn't fit the narrative. So that story got quashed. What's up, Bikes and Bullets? How are you doing? Yeah, it was a long trip. Oh, getting back to the trip. So after I was done with Irish, I kind of wanted to just get home. I'd had a long trip. It had been almost 2 weeks. It's a 26-hour drive from his place to my place. I did it in 2 13-hour shifts. And it's actually cooler here in Arizona, I believe, than southern Indiana. In fact, in New Mexico on my way back, it was snowing, which was weird. I'm beating, I bet, heading to bed all night. Thank you, Guns Coast to Coast. Appreciate you being here. It was great to meet you. I think I can say that. I got to shake Guns Coast to Coast hand, and we had a lot of great conversations, and that was awesome. I would love to spend more time with Guns Coast to Coast. My man, good to see you home. Hope you treat your lady right. Yeah, well, try. I do my best. We had a great. Well, I got home yesterday. I didn't get home today. I got home yesterday, and yeah, we celebrated my return a few times. All right, let's watch some Tucker. Yeah, that video. That looked cringe as hell when I first saw that video of her talking to these kids. I'm like, something didn't seem right. Apparently, they were all actors. She sounds like she's talking to 5-year-olds. Look how diverse this group is. There's not a fat nerd in there either.
You can't hear the video.
What's up?
Can't hear the video.
Thank you, Riddle. Do I not have desktop audio on? Why wouldn't you be able to hear the video? Okay. What'd you do to my stuff while I was gone, Riddle? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's try that.
Why are we putting up this exactly? And who's running it? Well, Kamala Harris, or Kamala Harris, depending on the day, is officially in charge of it. She's our border czar. That's what Joe Biden says. But she doesn't seem very interested in the job. Instead, she spent the last week filming a truly bizarre video for World Space Week. But don't take our word for it. Here it is.
I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn. Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council. We're going to learn so much as we increasingly, I think, are curious and interested in the potential for the discoveries and the work we can do in space. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. But the other, you guys are going to see, you're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness. With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is going to be unbelievable.
So for humanitarian reasons, we're not going to play you that whole video, but it's online. If you dare, look it up. Watch it. Watch it again. Watch your own soul die as you do. It's the fakest thing that's ever been caught on video, but in fact, it's even faker than it looks. We've just learned that one of the kids that Kamala Harris was lecturing at is in fact not a normal kid. He's a child actor called Trevor who auditioned for that role. No political party that believed in democracy and thought it had to win over vote.
You got to ask yourself, if you're the kid actor and they find out you're an actor, you going to get any more acting gigs? Like, isn't that the worst thing for an actor, to get pigeonholed into a role and then can never do a different role because everybody knows them for that? I would almost imagine it would be the same thing. We're not going to watch the rest of that. Go check that out if you want to. He goes on some different things, but the kid was an actor, and I believe more kids have been confirmed as actors. But I mean, she's talking to him like they're 5 years old. Creepy and weird, exactly. It would be different if she was talking to preschool. Fake news assist Yellen's gaslighting efforts on IRS snooping scandal. Don't know anything about this. I've been out of the loop for the most part. I have caught a little bit of stories because we did the morning muster while I was there. By the way, that was a lot of fun doing the morning muster at Irish's place. It was a little bit awkward because, you know, he's a big guy and it's a small space, so I have to kind of go behind him. So I always feel like I'm like really small behind him and stuff, but I was trolling, having a great time. Yeah, what an experience that was, doing the morning muster in the same room. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen claimed in an interview with CBS Norah O'Donnell that the proposal by the Biden administration to have the IRS monitor all bank transactions over $600 was designed to go after billionaires. Bullshit. $600? They spend that on lunch. Who are cheating the government, not to monitor the transactions of ordinary citizens. That's 100%. Well, in my opinion, I mean, we are back on the main channel, but in my opinion, that is horseshit. $600 for millionaires and billionaires. How many times have you gone and withdrew more than $600? Or does that even count for when you have a direct deposit? Probably not. While Yellen didn't exactly say in the video, the follow-up tweet by CBS makes clear what the takeaway should be. In the past week, media outlets like CNN and CBS have run interference for the Biden administration, frequently fact-checking claims that this will be an unreasonable invasion of ordinary citizens' privacy. Well, you know what? In my opinion, I also believe that the $10,000 rule that's in place right now is also a violation of my privacy. Yes, I think drugs are bad, and I don't think people should do it. And if there are criminals doing criminal things, I think they should be charged criminally. However, it is none of your business if I, a law-abiding citizen, decide to take out more than $10,000 out of my account. I shouldn't have to have a visit from the FBI asking where that money went or why. It's Republicans and right-wing media outlets attacking the proposal as a violation of privacy and arguing that the IRS would improperly spy on everyday Americans' bank accounts. Well, Guns Coast to Coast, probably not here anymore, but he made a video a while back talking about this very subject and saying that if it does happen, we should all just start taking out $601 and then depositing it right back into our account. Do that multiple times every time you go to your bank account. Don't, you know, I'm not going to go to my bank account and just sit there all day long. But if I'm going to go to my bank account, yeah, I can withdraw like $700 and deposit $700. They asked me why, but I don't know. Wanted to see, have a visit, I guess. If everybody does that, it's going to flood the system, was the theory. Until legislation is passed by Congress, it is unclear how the IRS authority could expand what the reporting threshold would be and who would be affected, concluded CNN, arguing that we will not know what's in the bill until it passes. Gotta love that. Last time I fell, nope, well, I didn't fall for that. A lot of people did. PolitiFact also came to the aid of the administration, saying that the idea that the IRS would monitor every single withdrawal, deposit, and transaction you make from your personal bank accounts, PayPal, Venmo, etc., was mostly false. In September, Senator Cynthia Lummis pressed Yellen on the proposal. According to the Daily Mail, pointed out that the IRS won't find a lot of billionaires by imposing a 600 flag on transactions. Exactly. They're just not. Yellen's answer was non-responsive. That's correct, but it's important to have a comprehensive information so that individuals can't game the system and have multiple accounts. Bankers and other experts have also raised the privacy concerns while expressing doubt that the information would be useful to the IRS for purpose of finding high income tax cheats. My opinion on this is that they're trying to go after your side hustle. There are a lot of people out there, especially after, 2020 happened and all the sickness that went around. There's a lot of people losing their jobs or trying to find a way to supplement their income through side businesses. And a lot of them probably aren't reporting their taxes. And that we cannot have. What the IRS will do with this information is of concern to us, said Bob Palmer, CEO of the Community Bankers Association of Ohio. The volume of information they are seeking is of concern to us, Palmer continued. The safety of the information is of concern to us. Keep that one on your radar. Psaki admits using the sniffles for fundamental change to the economy. Oh, the government wants its precious? Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta come up with that 3.5 trillion somewhere. It's gonna pay for itself, everybody. You won't even notice it in your, in your monies. And don't worry about inflation. We got that under control too. On Tuesday, White House Press Secretary Psaki claimed President Biden believes we can still do something historic that will fundamentally change the economy for the American people. She was responding to a question about the Democrats' $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill still being debated in Congress. The president wants to make fundamental changes in our economy, and he feels coming out of the pandemic is exactly the time to do that, she said. And if we don't do it now, if we don't address the cost of childcare, anybody having a problem paying childcare? If we don't address the climate crisis, if we don't ensure that universal pre-K is a reality now, we're not going to have the same opportunity to do it for some time, because they know they're probably going to lose the Senate and the House. Psaki's language is clearly inspired by former Obama's chief of staff Rahm Emanuel's notorious line uttered in the context of the 2008 financial meltdown that you never want to let a serious crisis go to waste. But it might also be worth recalling an author Naomi Klein's use of the term shock doctrine to describe the brutal tactic of using the public's disorientation following a collective shock. The president is up against members of his own party as he attempts to administer $1 trillion shock therapy to the economy. According to Politico, Senator Joe Manchin continues to obstruct passage of the bill because there are tens of thousands of coal jobs in West Virginia that are going to disappear as the economy transitions to clean energy. Well, depending on what y'all might have your own opinion on coal and if we should do it. If clean coal is even a thing. I don't know what your opinions are on that, but I'll tell you this. America is the Saudi Arabia of coal. We have more coal than anybody, and if we did run coal, not talking about pollution now, just talking about energy, we would be energy independent on just coal, in my opinion. Should we use it or not? That's up to you. Not up to me. According to Politico, let's see. And though her ultimate rationale remains a mystery, according to Democrat Senator Kristen Sinema, remains another holdout, largely due to her stance on prescription drug pricing reform. Kristen Sinema, Democrat of Arizona. I didn't vote for her, but I wasn't enthused about the other person. Let's just put it that way. There's a lot of people saying that was also suspect. I'm not one of those people. 3.5 trillion. What's the VIG on that? What was the VIG on the 6.2 trillion on the fight against sniffles that Trump endorsed? Yeah. I don't know what VIG means, but return on investment is not it. But what's up, Bikes? How you doing? Thank you for being here. We've lost a few people. Apparently, they all came in and said hi, and then like, eh. But I appreciate it. Art Museum airline woke explain why we can't have nice things. In an inherent duplicity of left social justice hierarchy known as intersectionality was on full display recently as woke true believers invoked its precepts first to discriminate against women and then to denounce the forces of systematic sexism in plane travel. Social justice apparently had no problem with a prestigious art museum targeting a group of primarily white female volunteers for dismissal, but they were completely outraged when an airline pilot calls his passengers ladies and gentlemen. The Art Institute of Chicago. Wow, really? Okay, personal story time. When I was younger, just fresh out of high school, I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Phoenix. I knew about the Art Institute of Chicago because they're the same thing-ish. And I wanted to go for graphic arts. I wanted to either do special effects in movies or video games. I wasn't sure at the time. How did the 6.2 trillion stop and fight the sniffle ending the sniffle? If one label spends trillions and the other label spends trillions for fighting the sniffles, why is it still ongoing? Think hard. We have the solution. All you have to do is roll up your sleeve. Just get it. Just get it. Just get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. You know you want to. Anyway, the Art Institute of Chicago decided last month that its roster of volunteer docents should be dismissed because of the groups of predominantly white retired women was not diverse and inclusive enough. According to the Art Institute Docent Council, the volunteers were dismissed because the museum's perspective is the current docent core. Demographics do not meet the need of the strategic plan, and the museum concluded that it re-engineered the docent program was a step towards achieving the museum's important goal of creating a culture of diversity and inclusion. So obviously get rid of all the white women. Pretty much. All right, that one I don't like. Too many big words, and I haven't done this in a long time. Interest? Thank you. What was the interest on the 6.4? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we do pay interest, don't we? They never talk about the interest on the money that they borrow or print. Organized theft rings force closures of 5 Walgreens in San Francisco. See how long this is. Yeah, we'll watch this.
Wow.
Security off. Oh, you're gonna get beat up. No. Wow. Let's see that again.
911. Wow.
Well, she tried to take the bag, but apparently it was Citing organized retail crime, a lax of penalties for criminals, Walgreens has announced the closure of 5 more retail locations in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Fran shoplifters have been emboldened by a referendum that lowered the penalty for stealing goods worth less than $950 from a felony to a misdemeanor. Cops and prosecutors have said the Post. Walgreens spokesperson said that despite adding extra security, which absolutely did nothing, retail theft has continued to climb. Retail theft across our San Francisco stores has continued to increase in the past few months to 5 times our chain average. Despite large increases in security, Walgreens spokesperson Phil Casaro said, well, it's not going to do anything if you can't do anything because of it. The security officers can't do anything. They are there to observe and report and call 911. That's all they do. They don't have a gun. Especially probably not in San Francisco. Retail theft, let's see, I already read that. Organized crime and theft rings are responsible for much of the increase, said law enforcement. Viral videos have featured criminals engaging in grab-and-go crime in San Fran, brazenly ignoring security guards and stealing wholesale by dumping items into a bag and breezing out with no attempt at concealment. Yeah, because what are they going to do? You can't do shit. Plus, I would imagine the cops are probably tied up. Not literally. The Chronicle reports that 22 Walgreens stores have closed in the last 5 years. I'm completely devastated by this news, said Asha Safari, a member of the San Fran Board of Supervisors. This Walgreens is less than a mile from 7 schools and has been a staple for seniors, families, and children for decades. The closure will significantly impact this community. Well, guess what? You can't run a business where you can't sell items. You're watching the slow death of San Francisco. Companies are same thing with Portland. When you burn a company down to the ground or you repeatedly steal from them and there's nothing that happens to you and it's just going to continue, they're either not going to rebuild back where they were or they're just going to move somewhere else. So now, who's going to give you your prescriptions if you're living in San Francisco? It might be actually a good thing. It might bring back mom and pop stores. But even mom and pop stores are going to have to deal with this kind of crime. Depending on how they deal with it or depending on the laws, it might be a good thing that way. I am, let's see, just armed citizens. And yeah, you would, not in San Francisco, you ain't. But I get it. Yeah, I agree, Anonymous. Banana on ground would help. Hilarious. Jupiter 5, that was hilarious. Thank you. Security is worthless without enforcement. Exactly. Stop. Don't. No. It's not a deterrent. I'll put you in a timeout. You better watch out. You're in timeout even longer now, mister. All right. This one's kind of cool. If Gerald is still here, this is a Maine story. Maine can bar religious exemptions to the shot mandate, judge rules. Wow. Yahoo News. I'm going to have to pay attention to Yahoo more often. A U.S. judge ruled on Wednesday that Maine can bar religious exemptions to its requirements that healthcare workers in the state get the shot, a day after a judge ordered New York to allow such exemptions to its mandate. U.S. District Judge John Levy in Bangor, Maine, said the healthcare workers who brought the case have not been prevented from staying true to their religious beliefs, although refusing the shot will cost them their jobs. I think Guns Coast to Coast did another video on this too, where they're saying that you've already had a shot with the aborted fetus cells in it. So you didn't complain about that one. You have no right to complain about this one. I'm not exactly sure if that's where this is going or not. Let's find out. The workers also failed to show Maine officials were motivated by an improper animus towards religion or that the state lacked a compelling reason to impose the shot requirement. All right. Said Levy, who was nominated by Barack Obama. All Maine healthcare workers have the legal right to request reasonable accommodation for their sincerely held religious beliefs, and forcing shots without exemptions is unlawful, said Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel, a Christian legal advocacy group that represented the workers. The group filed an appeal with the First U.S. District Court of Appeals in Boston and requested the ruling to be put on hold during the appeal process. The shots have become highly politicalized in the United States, where only 66% of Americans have gotten it. Well short of the intentional goals of the Biden administration. This number keeps changing. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure, like before July 4th, we want 70%. Wasn't it like 68 or 69% at the time? Now it's down to 66. Maine Governor Janet Mills announced her state's mandate on August 12th, and workers have until October 29th to comply. Exemptions were allowed for medical reasons. Unlike most states, Maine does not allow for religious or philosophical exemptions to shots. The plan was challenged by a group of healthcare workers who said they opposed the shot because some shots were developed from cell lines of aborted fetuses. The workers also sued several healthcare companies where they worked. Maine removed religious exemption from the mandated shots in 2019, and voters overwhelmingly rejected a referendum challenging the law last year. As a result, the sniffle shot mandate is consistent with state law and does not single out religion, Levy said. By comparison, he said New York's mandate originally allowed religious exemptions and then removed them as the deadline neared. New York also allows religious exemption to other mandated shots. At least 24 states have imposed shots requirements on workers, usually in healthcare. Yeah. Sorry, Gerald, if you're watching, Maine is not sounding like a great place that I want to go. Yeah, 66%. You doubt that? Well, I don't know what. I mean, a lot of people I talk to off of this channel have gotten it or know somebody that did. How many people have gotten it? How many people do you know in your own personal life that has it? Nobody in my personal life has it. My sister don't have it. I don't know about my mother. I haven't talked to her in years. My daughter doesn't have it. My wife, as far as I know, don't have it.
Nope.
My friends, my close friends, all the friends that have my phone number, as far as I know, they don't have it. But I do talk to people on other channels that I'm on about it, and there's a lot of people there that have it, and they're looking forward to their boosters. I heard 75% of those who qualified 4 months ago from CNN. I read 52% working adults actually got it. Hint, working, not at all. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder what the real percentage is. If you didn't know, William Shatner went into space for a minute today and then came right back. I don't know. I wondered, I hope they say how much this cost to do, because I'm pretty sure it's expensive. And if you watched it today, even if you didn't, it's very quick. It's the launch, which probably would be pretty cool, ain't gonna lie. But seriously, it was like 1 to 2 minutes up there, and they were already coming back down. I mean, at least circle the Earth once. We know like 2 people who got it. Do we know 2 people that got it?
Yep.
Did your longtime friend get it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Actor William Shatner counted down Wednesday to his wildest role yet, riding a rocket into space, courtesy of Star Trek fan Jeff Bezos. Most likely he didn't have to pay for it. What's hilarious is they had the merch, right? They had the jackets. When they got back, they got these little astronaut pins, so they're all astronauts now. They were referring to them as astronauts. Oh, the astronaut. No, you're not. You are not an astronaut. You went on a ride. The same kind of ride, maybe a really cool ride, but it's like going to Disneyland on a roller coaster and then saying you're a roller coaster engineer. You're not a roller coaster engineer. You rode on a roller coaster. You're not an astronaut. You rode on a ship that went up to space and came down. You didn't do a damn thing but unbuckle yourself and like float around for 30 seconds before you had to get back in your chair. That's all you did. They're going up to the atmosphere, not outer space. There you go. Well, apparently, I don't know much about space, but apparently William Shatner was saying that he saw the atmosphere when they went through it or whatever, and it was very, very thin. For whatever that's worth. I don't know. We already know about Shatner. Bezos' space travel company Blue Origin invited Shatner on a brief jaunt to the fringes of the final frontier, which will make him the oldest person in space. Well, apparently not according to Anonymous. And you're not the only one that said that, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know about it myself enough to comment on it. It will be Blue Origin's second passenger flight using the same capsule and rocket. Oh, and that was like one of the coolest things about it is that capsule and the rocket. Well, the rocket landed upright. I mean, that was amazing. So they just reuse it. What a way to save money. They got to be making a ton of money on that. A ton of money. Let's see. A trip should last 10 minutes. With the fully automated capsule reaching a maximum altitude about 66 miles before parachuting back into the desert. Virgin Galactic Richard Branson kicked off the U.S.-based space tourism boom in July 11th, riding his own rocket ship to space. Bezos followed 9 days later aboard his own capsule. I guess he did fly up there, Irish. Elon Musk stayed behind as his SpaceX company launched its first private flight last month. So there's three private people that are doing this. Let's see. Last month, sending a billionaire cancer survivor and 2 ticket winners into orbit. Last week, Russia sent an actor and a film director to the International Space Station for movie making. Okay. We're just at the beginning, but how miraculous that beginning is, how extraordinary it is to be part of that beginning, Shatner said in a Blue Origin video posted on the eve of his flight. It looks like there's a great deal of curiosity about his fictional character, Captain Kirk, going into space, so let's go along with it and enjoy the ride. Rounding out the crew, the Blue Origin vice president and 2 entrepreneurs who bid unsuccessfully for a seat on the previous flight with Bezos, the founder of Amazon, Blue Origin, did not divulge their ticket prices. It's so expensive that they don't even make it public. Holy crap. Bezos was at the expansive launch and landing site near Van Horn, Texas to see the 4 off. Yeah. Wow. Well, if you ever want to almost go to space, SpaceX had 4 people who orbited for 3 days. Really? See, now that's cool, Daniel. I would do that. At least in orbit. You go through all that to come right back down? You can't orbit at least one time? See the dark side of the Earth? See the light side of the Earth, you know? That would be awesome. 62 miles above the Earth is not really space. It's like standing in the doorway but not crossing. We only crashed our rockets because we needed to have a reason for NASA to spend more money. They found it non-profitable to land them until Elon said, nah, it's wasteful. Exactly. I think it's a cool idea, though. I love it that private people are doing that. I don't know if y'all seen, I think it's it's a movie. It's called, I believe it's called The Farming Astronaut, or The Astronaut Farmer. Like some farmer decided to build a rocket to go to outer space in the back of his barn or some shit. Biden wasting $100 million in taxpayer-funded border materials. So these are all the fences, I guess. We were paying the contractors, I think, what was it, $5 million a day not to do anything, and now they canceled that contract. More than $100 million in taxpayer-funded border wall materials have been discarded after President Biden shut down the construction of the wall when he first took office. Fox News drone captured footage of nearly 10,000 steel panels, which could build up to 100 miles of wall, rusting in Fair, Texas, where they've been since January when Biden signed an executive order suspending all contracts for the wall's construction. Keep in mind, taxpayers have already paid for this. Fox News reporter Bill Malone noted, it is bought and paid for and nothing's happening with it. Additional footage from La Joya, Texas, shows where fencing along the border abruptly ends, leaving a wide open space for illegal immigrants to enter. Basically, it's useless, Malone said. We just watch these migrants just walk around it all the time. It's not doing anything. And the border agents out here are having to run around left and right as runners are consistently coming through. On top of the wasted materials, the Biden administration is spending millions of dollars every day for border contracts that he put on hold. I believe they ended that. According to former Border Patrol Chief Rodney Scott, the administration is paying contractors up to $5 million a day to do nothing. Another report from Senator James Lankford estimated that Biden has spent about $2 billion in total to halt the wall's construction. Biden is paying for professional construction contractors to babysit metal to the tune of $2 billion and counting, while at the same time we've seen 20-year high number of migrants crossing our open border. Stubbornly refusing to spend money approved for the wall is not executing the law, it's ignoring the law and ignoring the very real national security concerns posed by illegal entry across our very open southern border. Well, I mean, if you try to go to Canada, you can't, as far as I've been told. I haven't tried myself. But as far as I know, Canadian border is closed. You can't get through unless you're fully shotted, right? And I think there's a few exceptions, but that's it. But the southern border? Nah, man, they're fine. They don't have the sniffles. Let them through. Great movie. You own it on DVD. I haven't watched it in forever. It's been a long time. RG, what's up, RG? How you doing? Watch Gattaca. We're heading there. Well, another great movie, if you haven't seen it, is Idiocracy. I hope you all have seen Idiocracy. I don't know if I have that one working here. Let me see.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops.
Yes,
Water. Like out the toilet?
but Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even
I don't
know?
think I've seen
It's
Gattaca.
what they use to make Brondo. Yeah, but
am
why
doing
did
great
they use them
RP
to
on
make
Twitter.
Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Okay, that's done. Yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, check that one out. Idiocracy. I swear we're going there. Absolutely going there. Discrimination based on genetic engineering. About a man who fakes his genetic flaws to get into space. All right. Well, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it in a tab to go look. Give me 1 second. Because we do like to have movie night here. We'll watch something on Amazon, or we have movie night with our neighbor. We don't watch really any new ones because, you know, new movies kind of suck. "1997 American Dystopia." What?
Jupiter 5 shared a link. Were you able to see it?
I haven't looked just yet. I see one there, yeah. Let me see if I can click on it. I can click on it, yeah.
Okay.
Gladys Burke, I can't pronounce that, takes over the world. It's 1 minute and 44 seconds. It's on YouTube, so it should be fine.
I'm a bit tired of hearing people saying I don't know how to do my job properly, and I think that's really mean. I remember being criticised. Just remind everybody how criticised I was. That's not acceptable. I hope everybody likes staying at home because we are going to go into lockdown forever. Nobody from New South Wales is going.
Okay, first of all, did you hear what she was saying right there? Just watch this part.
Everybody likes staying at home because we are going to go into lockdown forever.
Did you see how many cuts that was? That is not the same interview. Now, I don't know if this is something she's been preaching a long time, but first time watching it, they cut up multiple press conferences and pieced them together. She could have said it. She could have not have said it.
Forever. Nobody from New South Wales is going anywhere. We hope everybody likes staying at home. Criticised I was. That's not acceptable. I hope everybody likes staying at home because we are going to go into lockdown forever. Nobody from New South Wales is going anywhere. We will have 2 million police officers standing at the corner of every street to monitor every single citizen. We're really watching very closely. I hope this really will be devastating. We don't like to be heavy-handed, but what we need to say today now is that if you leave home, we will give you a death sentence. Please know that you will be shot in the face, and I hope it's painful. You are required to obey what we say when we say it, and if you don't, you can prepare to die. I've said from the outset, I don't care about your life and the life of those around you. I don't really give a shit. The government is now about to announce what we call the final solution. We are inspired by history and realise we can very easily permanently get rid of anybody thinking illegal thoughts. We aim to have absolutely zero freedom. Follow the rules or else you'll never be seen again. If you think you can live freely under our very strict and harsh regime, I have news for you. If you even consider
They paused it just to do regime. What was she talking about with regime? Because it definitely wasn't this.
breaking the rules, I will personally stab you in the head and rip your guts out. We have 24 hours surveillance of every single person in the community. We want to cause anguish, hurt and suffering to as many citizens as possible. Every day at 11 o'clock, every citizen in this state must listen to me. This is the Fourth Reich, and I will make sure that I never, ever, ever give up power till the day I die.
I see. It's supposed to be like that. That's kind of funny. All right. UN whines about lack of funding for sniffle shot effort despite getting trillions. Comments this week from the United Nations chief conveniently overlooked trillions of dollars the United States has dedicated to support the global sniffle relief. Secretary General Antonio Guterres also failed to acknowledge the Trump administration efforts to successfully fast-track a shot that has helped improve health and economic conditions around the world. Reuters told an International Monetary Fund panel Monday that global solidarity on shot relief is missing in action, and people living in people living in conflict, affected, and poor countries are suffering most of all. In Guterres' words, shot inequality is a moral outrage that is condemning the world to millions more deaths and prolonging an economic slowdown that could cost trillions of dollars, hitting the poorest countries hardest of all. Guterres said indications that the world is in a substantial economic recovery mask the huge divergence between the situation in rich countries and in the least developed nations. Well, you know what else is in the least developed nations? Sanitary stuff. How much hand sanitizer do they have? Do they have running water? Do they have access to showers and clean clothes and clean water and clean food? Because according to Fauci in 2017, the best way to avoid, and this is according to him, the best way to avoid getting sick, any kind of, I don't know what kind of sickness, he just said sick. So I guess it could be the cold or the flu. Okay. But he said at the time, the best way to avoid getting sick before the sniffles came out is to live a healthy lifestyle. Don't smoke, don't drink, work out, watch what you eat, stuff like that. Things that you've been told your entire life. Do those third world countries have access to those things? Because I think those would probably help them a lot in a lot of ways, more than other things. And lastly, the Rolling Stones have a song that just got canceled, Brown Sugar, due to slavery themes. Rolling Stone guitarist Keith Richards told the Los Angeles Times that the group has retired the song Brown Sugar from its set list because of the controversy surrounding the lyrics that romanticize black slavery. They're listening to a different song than I did, I guess. I don't remember the lyrics, though. At the moment, I don't want to get into conflicts with all this shit Richards said of the criticism of the song, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to resurrect the babe in her glory somewhere along the track. Brown Sugar was the second most played song on their list, last played live in the U.S. at Miami Hard Rock Stadium in August of 2019. The cancellation of the song is a marked departure from the attitude that made the Stones one of the longest working rock bands in history. Sticking it to the man and not being apologetic. Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle. Has anybody here watched that Dave Chappelle special? Man, I want to, but I don't know if I want to get Netflix. You know what, Riddle? We might have to get Netflix for 1 month. Just 1 month. Maybe we'll get a free trial. It's been a while. Get a free trial. Watch the Netflix special with Chappelle, and then that one show that my daughter was saying that was pretty good. Criticized in 1978 for racially charged lyrics in the song Some Girls, Stones lead singer Mick Jagger told Rolling Stone magazine, Atlantic tried to get us to drop it, but I refuse. I've always been opposed to censorship of any kind, especially conglomerates. I've always said, if you can't take a joke, it's too fucking bad. Not anymore, not in 2021. But so far, there is no word that Some Girls will also be canceled by the band. Guitarist Richard says he doesn't understand what the fuss is about. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out with the sisters quite where the beef is, Richard said about Brown Sugar. Didn't they understand the song was about the horrors of slavery, he continued, but they're trying to bury it. The horrors of slavery. The song depicts several situations in which black female slaves are raped or beaten. Critics have noted that the fact that its upbeat, danceable tempo stands in stark contrast to the downbeat message that Jagger said the song was supposed to depict. Okay, so if you can talk about this stuff, Rolling Stones, but you can't make it upbeat and you can't make it danceable. You got to make it a sad, melancholy song. I never would write that song now, Jagger told the Rolling Stones in 95. I would probably censor myself. I think, oh God, I can't. I've got to stop. I can't just write raw like that. And that's how the world just becomes something that's unrecognizable. You have artists who made their career of standing up against the man and fighting against censorship, especially like with comedians as well. And then you have some people standing up. And that's why I really like Chappelle. Apparently, Chappelle made fun of conservatives too. Do you hear any conservatives bitching about that, they're not being representative? Oh, my voice mod is still on this one. Crap. Chappelle supports the trans deviancy. I don't know what Chappelle supports. I know that he speaks what's on his mind and he doesn't censor himself right now. And isn't that what it really means? I don't care if you disagree with me. I don't. I'm going to do a video on that. I've been thinking about doing a video on that for a long time. And I almost did on my trip, but I didn't have enough space on my phone to do it. But I fully intend to do this. I'm going to hopefully make a video about being able to disagree with people. Whatever happened to let's agree to disagree? Can't we have that? I'll go into a little bit here. Right? It happens all the time, and it's happened in my own experience on YouTube. So we started out doing the morning muster. The evening catch-up was a thing that I started up because morning muster wasn't happening because Irish was dealing with computer issues and other shit, right? So I'm doing the evening catch-up. And then I go to comment on Corsair trainers. By the way, do not go over there and say anything. I shouldn't even said his name, but I while we were doing the morning muster, my opinion on police officers came up. And if you don't know about my opinion on police officers, I had said multiple times the only good cop is an ex-cop. And the reason for that statement is because I believe that if you are a good cop, you're going to see a bad cop do something shady. And if you don't report that bad cop, that makes you just as bad. You're culpable, right? Which makes you a bad cop. So the only good cop, which would be a cop who sees something bad and reports on it and holds that bad cop to account, will then be fired. Hence, ex-cop. That's kind of still my opinion on it, to be honest. However, this other person that was in his chat disagreed. He disagreed because he was a police officer at one time. I found out later, and this is secondhand because I haven't talked to him about it because he won't talk to me. But I had talked secondhand about it. Apparently, he was a cop who got let go because he had reported on another cop doing something that was illegal or, against the police. Which makes my point, right? If you were a cop and you're no longer a cop because you reported on another cop and then lost your job because of it, then you, sir, are a good cop. But because I said there's no such thing as a good cop, only good cop's an ex-cop, multiple times, he won't have anything to do with me, right? I go over to his channel not knowing that he's upset. Go over to his channel and he's talking about something and I'm like, ooh, I have an opinion on that, right? And so I type in his comments. The dude responds, I've heard enough about your opinion on things, and if I never hear about your opinion again, it'll be too soon. Okay, I didn't know we had beef. I've had beef with other people. They have beef with me. I don't usually have beef with them, right? We had a joke that was told in my chat, and one of our people that were a big time fan of my channel that would come to multiple streams was offended by a stupid joke. It wasn't even a good joke, by the way, but it was a joke. And this person got all bent out of shape and wanted me to do something about it. What do you want me to do? It was a joke. Let it go. You like it? Great. If you don't like it, okay, I don't care. Just because there's a joke doesn't mean that we're all racist. There's plenty of funny jokes, and that's kind of why I like Chappelle. He'll make fun of everybody. Whatever happened to making fun of everybody in jokes? Whatever happened to agree to disagree? Just because you might think there are good cops out there, does that mean you shouldn't be able to talk to me about other things? Is that it? Is that one and done? We're never going to talk again? You're never coming back? You're going to be leaving a thumbs down every time, maybe reporting the channel? Because you can't handle somebody that you either liked at one time or just somebody that's on the internet that you disagree with, and you can't get past that? Have you all been pussified so damn much that you have such thin skin that you have to watch somebody who only agrees with everything you say, and if they ever disagree with even one thing, you're out? I don't understand it. Apparently, when I met Guns Coast to Coast, and I hope I'm able to tell, I'm sure he'll be fine with this, and if not, I'm sorry, but he was mad at me at one time because he had done a video about Kyle Rittenhouse. And his opinion on Kyle Rittenhouse and my opinion on Kyle Rittenhouse are different. And I had expressed my opinion on Kyle Rittenhouse on his video that he was expressing. That's what you do on videos. You watch a video and you comment. Right? Well, apparently, I guess he thought we were mad at each other. And so he would come to all my streams. I don't know exactly how he said that, but I'm never mad at him. I'm not mad at the person who took offense to the joke that was told in my chat. They're more than welcome to come back if they can ever get past it. I'm not mad at the person who got mad because I called all cops bad except for ex-cops. I'm not mad at that person either. We can disagree and still be friends. That's just how it is. All right. That's going to be it for me. Thank you, everybody who stuck through this whole episode. I know it ran long. It is my first one back, and actually most of them run long nowadays. I've got some work to do on my computer, and I hope to get that done. I'll probably do most of that over the weekend, so don't expect any big changes tomorrow, but we're going to be working on that. Check out all the links down below. We have all the causes I believe in and support. We have the pulmonary hypertension, which Riddle was supposed to get me another link to another group who's doing the same darn thing. So Riddle, if I can remind you about that. Also, we have the GOA, the Gun Owners of America. It's one of the groups that I support with my own money. I also support the AZCDL. I don't have that link down below because I think you should support your own local CDL. Check it out with whatever state you live in, unless you don't live in the United States. We have Projectrecover.org. That's an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members and returns their remains to their families. We have Rally Point Irish. My good friend Irish, USMC vet, is trying to start up a location in Tennessee. He's already picked out the spot or area, and all he needs, apparently, after talking to him more, all he needs is the land. He's already got most of the equipment to set up, including the stuff to build the residences. It's going to be, talk to him if you want more ideas on that. But Rally Point Irish, he's starting that up for veterans, so they have a place to stay while they learn new skills to get back into the workforce, like farming, blacksmithing, gunsmithing. Riddle said that if he ever gets that off the ground, we'll probably teach some classes there ourselves. I could teach reloading. She could teach, BSAing, some sort of computer thing. So there's a lot of stuff there, and a lot of people want to help out. So if you want to help out with Rally Point Irish, the link is down below. If you want to support this channel, there are ways to do that down below as well. Just know that 50% of everything donated to this channel, I would say all the money earned to this channel, but we're not monetized anymore. But 50% of all income coming into this channel does go directly to Rally Point Irish. Just FYI to you. But there are a whole bunch of different ways to support the channel financially. If you want to do that, you can also support us by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing is the biggest one. And don't forget about our affiliate links down there. We do have a new one tonight, and that's sitting right outside my front door. It's my welcome mat that says, what does it say? It says, come back with a warrant. That's what it says. Come back with a warrant. So if you want a doormat that says come back with a warrant, link down below. If you buy it from my link, I think I get a cent or two. So whatever that's worth. But I appreciate y'all for buying the stuff on Amazon and allowing me to keep the affiliate links going. And if you have any ideas of affiliate links that you want me to put down there, let me know in my Discord, which you can also find down below, all the places to follow me. I have a secondary YouTube channel. I'm on DLive currently. Hello, everybody on DLive. I do have a Twitter. I don't use it a lot, but I do use it once in a while. And the biggest one I try to promote is my Discord. We have a lot of great conversations there. I streamed my trip to Wisconsin there, and I streamed my entire trip back from southern Indiana to Arizona. And if you had been watching, which I understand people have shit to do, so we had a great time on there. It was just me and Riddle most of the time, but We had a good time. Thank you, Daniel. I will be texting you tonight, and I hope you have a good place you want to go eat. We'll have to set up a time and a place for that. Yep. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it one last time. And until I see you tomorrow, we will be back tomorrow at the same time. It's scrolling up there. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will also have the Patriot Bible Chat on Saturday. I will see you again tomorrow night at the same time. I always see you. Until then, make sure to keep those family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in. Until I see you tomorrow, peace.
Trading my freedom, put a price on my head. Well, I say